My name's Declan Cross,
JJ Lam,
athlete on the McMaster Marauder football team.
varsity football player for the University of Toronto.
Hi, my name is Mike Daly, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, recent alumni from McMaster Marauders.
Share with you guys my experiences and knowledge about concussions.
I'm just here to talk about concussions.
Concussions are a serious matter. There's no point in downplaying any symptoms that you might have.
For being a football player, especially getting a concussion, the worst thing you can do is get rushed back to the game.
You don't actually have to hit your head in order to have a concussion. A mechanism such as whiplash, whether it be in a car accident or just getting, body contact, can give you a concussion. All that's required is that your brain hits the inside of your skull.
I never feel the need to downplay any of my symptoms. I'll always get checked out.
It's just not worth the brain damage later on in life to play another quarter of a football game.
It's just not worth the risk. You can actually do more harm to yourself and you won't actually benefit from it at all.
We're using these, we're student athletes, we're in school, we have to be able to think.
It's not worth hiding a concussion in order to play the rest of the game. You need to talk to the doctor.
If something was wrong and they said actually you shouldn't go back in, I wouldn't fight them. I understand that, winning this next game, even if we're in the playoffs, if we're in the finals, whatever, that's a great moment, but it's not worth risking the rest of my life or my future in any way.
In the sport of football, I 1 week took, routine hit, felt my normal, feeling after a hit, didn't think anything of it at the time, didn't let, coaches know, teammates know. I was being quite greedy about it, but I wanted to play in my next game and I needed to attend practices in order to do so. In the following week, another routine hit, not a big hit at all, but I actually worsened my symptoms, took me out of the game, and coincidentally, I ended up missing months and months of academics, training sessions, and there's just a lot of work to catch up on. The recovery process is not a fun one, it's not easy. So playing with a concussion, downplaying a concussion and the severity of it is not a joke.
The standards that we have for concussion screening are a test early on in the season. So that will be your baseline test so that if anything happens during the season, we go back, take the same test so that they can see exactly what happened. And if our brain activity is a little bit slower, if we can do the same kind of test at the same level that we were. If not, it's taken very, very seriously and we're sat out until we get about the same score on that test.
If there's anything wrong in the middle of a game, if it's really bad, you'll just take a knee and the trainers will come over and assess you and figure out if anything's actually wrong and to what degree and what has to happen. If you just think something might be wrong a little bit, you're just going to go off to the sideline, quickly check in with the trainer. Hey, can you check me out? They always do a good job of assessing whether you're good enough to go back and play or not, and it's always up to them too. It's not like let's ask the coach what he thinks or anything like that. McMaster ensures concussion safety.
In order to be able to see the warning signs as a child, it's really tough. You have a young kid and he's playing football, hockey, any sort of thing, soccer, anything where he hits his head, she hits her head. There's really no way to know unless you're talking to the kid.
When you're older, you have more experience playing the sport and you understand what certain injuries are, and especially head injuries, and you'll come to recognize as an older player, what's happening. The younger players don't have that. They can just assume that everything's always okay when sometimes it's not. So having adults, watch out for their children is important, because the adults can recognize the signs, the symptoms, and they'll know what's going on better than the children.
You don't have to hit your head to have a concussion. If you do get any symptoms, it's important to get checked out before you, keep doing any kind of physical activity. And never feel pressure to play with such an injury, whether it's from coaches or teammates. It's just not worth the risk.
Make sure that you take the proper steps with concussions, seek a medical professional. In the end, it's just all about having fun.